dark, honey. The time is changing. What's going on? Listen to a little Total down here, you know what I'm saying? Yes, come on. Let's get a copyright strike for the diva. What's going on, y'all? We down here. It's me. You see it? What's going on? Go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button twice, and so you can get a notification when the diva premieres a video or when I post a video, child. You know what I mean? And then what else? What else? Go watch the other videos that I posted yesterday and the day before. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we coming down here to talk about Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft Country. Say that fast 4 times. Lovecraft Country, Lovecraft Country, Lovecraft Country, Lovecraft Country. So listen, y'all. Hold on. Yes, come on. Ah! I said, oh, I haven't heard this song in a long time. Remember Ed Lover was in the video? Yes, come on, they jamming. Let me turn the car off. Okay, y'all, we only down here for a little while, okay? So we talking about Lovecraft Country. It was the episode that was titled I Am. It was, to me, it was a full episode, but the story that stood out to me the most was Hippolyta's story and her journey that she went on of self-discovery. I was like, yes, this is what I love right here. I'm about to get it. They're going to be like, cut all this out. So if this video cuts off in the beginning or anything like that, just know that the diva had to cut off the part that had Bad Boy Entertainment up in there. And all these people. I'm trying to get my notes together. Hold on. Let me get my drink together because we got to get my drink together, child. So do you guys let's stir it a little bit. You're probably like, Erica, what the hell are you drinking? Kombucha. A little kombucha. You see it? The best one is the guava. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Yes. Oh, come on, bitch. Yes, what? How come Mary J. Blige doesn't do a versus? Honey, she could do one by herself and we could still have a party. You hear me? Sitting here, wondering why you don't love me the way that I love you. And baby, have no fear. Yes. Mary was singing. Somebody tried to say online Mary can't sing. Like, there's some people that you know, like, okay, they're not a vocalist, but she sings from the heart and the soul. You feel Mary's music, honey. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all be disrespectful as hell. All right, let's talk about Hippolyta and them. So you want to talk about the whole episode, or do y'all want to talk about just Hippolyta's journey? Because I thought it was cool. Let's just talk about the whole episode, okay? I have not reviewed any episodes of Lovecraft Country. This is really the one I just really wanted to talk about the most, because that really prompted me to want to talk about it was because of Hippolyta's journey, which I was here for. So this episode is called I Am. It's funny because for a long time I had a Facebook page, and you know how you could put the banner behind, you know, your profile picture. It said I am, and that is the most powerful thing that you can say, the most powerful vibration to me that you can call on. And you could see throughout the episode what that, I don't know what that woman was. We kept calling her Garnet from Steven Universe. But yeah, so the Orrery, that's that constellation thing that they found. You guys already know, because we're on, I don't know what episode this is, 5 or 6. So the previous episode, Hippolyta was looking for George, or looking to find some clues as to what happened to George, because she doesn't believe that the way that they said he died, his wife does not believe that he died that way. So she took the Orrery and she took it home with her when she found it in Letty's house. It was in Letty's house. And she found it. And it's been in her house. She was enamored by it. She's into constellations. She's into the stars. She's into astronomy. She's into that, right? And, you know, she tells a story on a previous episode on how she named a star. Beautiful, right? So she's going to find out what what's wrong with her husband. And so, or what happened with her husband. So she is looking at different clues that she recognizes with the orrery and like the rubble from the house that, you know, fell down or whatever. And then she figures something out where she has to tilt the planets, put them on an axis, and then the little thing starts to spin around and light up. And then she opens this like sphere at the top of it opens, and there's a key in it. And the key, there's an inscription that says, every beginning is in time and every limit of extension in space. Beautiful, right? I forgot who the quote was by. I saw it last night. I forgot who the quote was by. So that was it for her. So they go to Ruby and with Christine and William. Is that her name? What's her name? Christine? I can't remember what her name is. Good morning. And Ruby sees that, you know, William and Christine are the same person, and that she or they are using the blood of 2 other people to change them into, so they can do glamours and stuff like that, to change them into you know, a white woman, and change Christine, I think her name is Christine, to a man. And Ruby says, I need to know everything. I want to know everything on all these secrets y'all got going on. Y'all got people changing bodies and stuff. What the hell is going on around here? So Letty and Atticus are sitting there having a conversation, and they are talking about the dream that they are both having with Hannah, their ancestor, an ancestor. I don't know whose ancestor it is. I think it's Atticus's ancestor. I don't know where Letty is in all of this, but she's having the dreams as well, because we think that she's pregnant, right? She had a dream, her stomach swells, and she goes up into a ball of flames, and then she sees Hannah standing at the doorway of the house with the book in her hand, and she keeps whispering something. I don't know if anybody has gotten any clues as to what she's mouthing, but nobody can really tell what she's saying. Why is she communicating with us through our dreams? We're having the same dreams. And she's like, she was holding this book. And then why would you run out of your master's house and grab a book? And then so they're like, oh my God, that's the book of names, right? And so that's what Christine been trying to find, so that she can have ultimate power. And she was trying to get into that house so she can get that orrery and, you know, everything that was going on. So Letty tells Atticus, well, do you have magic in your family? He's like, I don't know. I don't know my mom's side of the family. I don't know. That's when they were talking like that, that's like a lot of people that I know. They don't know too much about their families and the history of their family, like their history, like past the great-great-great-grandmother, to understand whether or not they have some traditions. Now, some traditions may have been passed on, but to go all the way back, you got to know your people. You got to know who they are, where they from. So he was like, I need to find out like who my mother's people were, I guess, whatever. So Montrose and his boyfriend are in Montrose's house. Montrose's boyfriend, I don't remember his name. He says he went to the store, and when he saw this woman with an African scarf on, she was so cute and this and that, he was like, oh, that's my neighbor. And he was like, don't worry, she didn't see me. So you know that Montrose is a gay man living in the 60s, and that's not a black man gay in the 60s. That's not happening, right? So we could see that Montrose, the character of Montrose, to me exemplifies the quote-unquote cishet black man from the beginning, from killing the two-spirit, from all of that. It just gives me Montrose. That's his characterization. And so he's sitting down having breakfast. Both of them are sitting down, and he's criticizing everything about the breakfast. And the boyfriend says, you know, You know, next thing you're going to criticize that the coffee is too wet. And so they start arguing, and he walks out. He was like, you're not about to play this game with me. Every time you feel like we're getting close, you start acting a fool, basically. And you know how people do. That's a lot of people do. When they feel like they're getting close to someone, they do something in order to push them away. Classic behavior. As he's leaving, he's running out the door, and he was like, I'm sorry. And as he's saying, I'm sorry, Atticus and Letty are walking down the hallway of his apartment building, and they're looking, and he's like, they're just looking, and then the man just walks past them. Atticus walks up to his father, and he says, so you are an F word. And his father gets upset. He's like, I'm still your father. Don't you ever call me out of my fucking name again. I'm still your father. And Atticus gets mad, and he goes outside, and he shares with Letty that his father used to beat him because he didn't want him to be gay. And this whole time, his father was the one who was beating his son, trying to repress his own feelings. And oh, before he walked out, he goes, did mama know? And he was like, yes. And he was like, and then he looked, and then Michael K. Williams' character, Montrose, he looks at Letty and was like, why did y'all come here? Like, why are y'all here? You just blew up his whole spot, basically. He said, yeah, his father beat him so he wouldn't be soft. And this whole time, and I imagine a lot of little black boys have had an experience, unfortunately, of their fathers trying to beat the gay or don't want their son to be soft or anything like that. My father actually beat my brother's ass for putting on one of my little pink jackets when I was a little baby. He put on one of my jackets, I think it was pink, and he had it on, and my father didn't like it and beat his ass. So yes, I got a story, a little story for every little fucked up type of fucked up family shit. I got a little story for all of that. I'm sure we all do. All right, so let's get past that before I get pissed off. All right, so Ruby is gonna babysit for Hippolyta, and I can't remember the daughter's name. Diane Freeman, that's her name. So they're gonna take, so Atticus and Letty goes outside and tells Atticus, you know, your father said that your mother had a sister or a cousin or somebody, the only person that lived in the Tulsa riots, right? So Atticus goes up, they want to go get the car, the car. So they go and get the car. They're trying to go get the car, and then Hippolyta is getting ready to get in the car, and the daughter is upset because this is her father's tradition, and you know, they go through the checklist of the things. We were able to see that on the previous episode. The daughter goes back in the house. Letty and Atticus says, you know what, George wouldn't want you doing this. And she said, I didn't know, before George died, did he give you permission to over the travel guide? No. She said, well, then move out the way. She was mad. She was like, get out the way. I'm doing what she's been trying to get on the road herself. And we saw that the last time George talked her out of it. She was like, I could go by myself. And then he tried to talk her out of it. And understandably, I understand where she's coming from, but I also understand where they're like, you can't be driving down these roads trying to find places that are safe for black people. It's not safe. But they did it. I mean, there was a travel guide. That's what I like about Lovecraft, is because they mix all of the science fiction and then the truth and reality. I love all of that. I love all of that. So Hippolyta leaves, right? So she's looking at this map, and the map has she wrote the quote. I don't know if the map had the quote on it that George wrote on it, or did Hippolyta write that quote on the map. But the map had the same quote that was on the orrery, right? The inscription. As Hippolyta's driving down the street, she is listening to some French music, honey, and she's, it's hot. I love everything. And then all of a sudden you see this woman on a motorcycle drive by her, and she was so excited. And to me, that symbolized a woman liberated, being free, on a bike, no restrictions, hair just blowing, and Hippolyta got her entire life. She was so excited when that woman passed her on that motorcycle. So she ends up at this observatory, right? So Letty finds out when Letty is at the house with Ruby, because Ruby is watching Diana, the daughter. And Ruby, Letty gets sick when she tries to taste some food in the garlic, so we think she's pregnant, right? So when she goes into a room, she sees the orrery. And so she calls Atticus to tell him. Now, Atticus he's already made the bus trip to his family's house, and he sees a woman with in the picture with the same birthmark on her arm that he has on his back, which kind of looks like an arrow pointing down. And so Ruby is sitting there listening to Letty on the phone with Atticus. So anyway, so as Hippolyta gets to the observatory, you see coordinates on the bottom of the screen. So we're like, okay, what's going on with these coordinates? So she figured these coordinates out. I don't know how she gets in this unlocked observatory, but anyway, she inserts the key into this machine inside of the observatory in the middle, and she starts saying to herself, mass rotation, velocity, radius. So Hippolyta got her shit together, right, with the math. And I'm looking, she starts doing math. She got her pencil down. She's doing these equations, and you see the little things on the screen and stuff. I love it. So then she hears some people coming, and it's these cops. It's cops, right? And okay, let me shut up. It's these cops, and they come down, and they're telling him, "What are you doing here, lady? What are you doing here, gal?" That's what they said to her. And as she's getting into it with these cops, Atticus shows up. They start fighting the cops. The machine is going, and the machine opens this portal, and Atticus throws one of the cops into the portal, into the wherever, we don't know where he ended up, baby. And then Hippolyta has the gun, and she ends up shooting the cop, the second cop. Then she gets sucked into the portal. She gets sucked into the portal, and then Atticus gets sucked into a portal. We don't see Atticus's story. We get to witness the beautiful story of Hippolyta. So she goes into this portal, and she's in this area that has nothing in it, right? It's just like land. And these two creatures walk out of the shadows, and she eventually wakes up on this table with no clothes on. And then she puts on her clothes. So I don't know if they did any tests on her. We don't know what's going on, honey, but they took all her clothes off or whatever and put her on these this like onesie, like almost like a jail type of outfit, like. And so Garnet shows up, right? I don't know who this person is, but Garnet shows up. Who do you guys think that person symbolizes? Because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I loved it. And my son was like, Garnet. So she was like, where am I? Where am I? Who are you? And she goes, who are you? And the woman says, I am. And then Hippolyta goes, who are you? And she was like, let me out of here. And the woman says, you're not in prison. You're not in prison. And then she comes out. She was like, where do you want to be? She kept asking her, where do you want to be? Name yourself. Name it. She was like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? She was laughing. And she was like, name it. Just name it. She was like, I want to be dancing on stage in Paris with Josephine Baker. I was like, yes! You better do it, Hippolyta. So honey, baby, she wakes up and she's on stage with Josephine Baker in Paris, baby. She's looking around like, baby, where am I? Oh my God, I was so excited for her. And she was on the stage, and so the girls are like moving her around like, girl, stop being so enamored by her and dance and do the routine, right? So she's with Josephine Baker, and she gets off the stage, and the two French girls, they're like, these American girls, y'all always messing some shit up or whatever. So then the person playing Josephine Baker, she comes out, and she was like, girl, you gotta get your shit together when you on stage. But when the Josephine Baker walks down the stairs, she looked at Hippolyta like, girl, what? Oh shit. And so so she starts, you know, talking to Hippolyta, and Hippolyta's looking like, bitch, I'm in an alternate motherfucking universe talking to Josephine fucking Baker. Like, girl, what the fuck is going on? So she was like, girl, you got to make sure you get your dances together. You're not in America anymore, girl. You got to loosen up. So then they show Hippolyta she's dancing. And it's funny when they show her next and she got this bob. She's dancing and she looking directly in the camera like, y'all know I'm having a good time. I was like, yes. Let me tell you something. I was so pumped to watch her. It was a beautiful thing. She's partying and drinking. They having a good time. It's nothing but women in there partying, having a good time. It was really, I loved that scene when she was in Paris. So she's talking to Josephine Baker, and she was like, you having one of those days? And she was like, yeah, girl. She was like, but you're a star, don't worry about it. She was like, did she say she knows she was? And she was like, yeah, I'm a magnificent, ancient, already extinguished star, honey. And you could see it. Other people can't tell, but you can see it. And Hippolyta says, you know, since I've been here, I have tasted a freedom that I've never known before. And I feel like I was robbed. And it's like I became this person who just was a smaller version of herself, basically. And she said I became this person, I guess, that she basically saying that a respectable black woman. And she's like, it's like they lynch you without putting a noose around your neck. And she was like, she wanted to kill white folks. She says, I hate that I'm made to feel small. And then she said, I am Hippolyta. And she looked up and she went into another realm, baby. She timeline jumped right on to where she was in warrior training. Another group of women. So she was around first group of women, second group of women. Now she's learning how to be a warrior. So she's like, where the fuck am I again? So she starts fighting this war, and this woman gives this speech about being strong and being ready to fight and all this other stuff. So basically it's a woman's army. She's sparring. You see the coordinates at the bottom of the screen. So then she winds up being the lead of this army of women. And you can see these white colonists on the other side. And it reminded me because she said she wanted to kill these people. Yeah, I don't want to say it on this thing. You understand what I'm saying? But that's what she said. So I figured when you said that and you went into another realm, you were in position to actually fulfill what you said you wanted to do. What do you want to do? That's when she told Garnet at the end, like, I got a little curious. I had to go and see what I was capable of doing, because in her life, she's so restricted. And let me keep going. So you could see them fighting and everything. What I loved is when you could see splatters of blood on the camera. I love that part. They killed every single white man there, all of them dead. And then all of a sudden you see more men coming. And what do we think that represents, right? What do we think that represents? Like, you just gonna keep fighting these white people. You gonna keep fighting these white people. What's gonna happen? So she looks up again to escape. And when she looks up, before that, she gives this speech, baby. And she says, we didn't believe them when they told us our rage wasn't ladylike. Let me tell you, when I said this, look, this spoke to me. They didn't believe us when they told us our violence went too far. We didn't believe them when they told us the hatred of our enemies isn't godlike. Baby, I said, yes, that turn the other cheek bullshit is out of here. I be trying to tell y'all, ain't nobody, honey. It is to me, when she said they didn't tell us, we didn't believe them when they told us that the hatred of our enemies isn't godlike. Aren't you told that in your congregations? No, don't hate your enemy. That's not godlike. And it allows you to become a smaller version for yourself, to walk around lynched without a noose around your neck. Baby, Lovecraft Country is so good. Okay, anyways, let me get on. What happens when we are free? We are what happens when we are free. Free to hate, free to kill when we must, and free to bring destruction, honey. Free. And that's, to me, I always say that women are chaos. Women are the prime chaos beings, and we are not made to be constricted and confined in ideas and systems of patriarchy and any other system of oppression. That's not our natural being. Our natural being is to be free to build, free to generate, free to destroy. Like, you have to understand that. And so many men do not understand that you cannot, if you constrict a woman, you're going to get the worst of her. And that's just what it is. And that's just what it is. Women are designed to be free. We are to be free. That's it. Free. Okay? So she says, I am George's wife. And she goes to the next, thing. To the next area. So she's laying in the bed. She's laying in the bed. What? Where are my notes? Wait a minute. Okay, let me put this paper down so I will stop looking at it. I'm George's wife. Right, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. So she's laying there. She's talking to George. And she was telling him about her experience. And he's looking like, girl, is this real? Because what would you do if you was laying down next to your partner and they woke up and they were like, listen, let me tell you what I have had an experience. You would be thinking they were just dreaming or whatever, right? She said, in a world where I can be myself, I can be anything. And he says, and you came back and you named yourself my wife? I was like, oh, George. She got up. She did not look happy about it. She got up and he was like, what's wrong? And she was like, I used to think that I was missing you when you would leave me and this and that. But I was angry. My life had been shrinking before I met you. And when I met you, I was already so small and I thought that you saw me. But no, you let me shrink myself for you. Oh my God. I said, come on, Hippolyta. Tell him. You better tell him. And I'm glad she told him she got to express that, because so many people find themselves, you know, a lot of men will allow a woman to shrink herself. They will allow you to shrink yourself, and they won't push you. They won't push you to be the grand, ancient, extinguished star that you are. Because for them, extinguishing yourself, becoming docile, becoming becoming this person that you don't recognize, for them, they like that. There are some men who prefer that. And you just have an unhappy person. You're dealing with an unhappy partner. And she said, you know, I thought that you would actually push me. And how many relationships have you been in with a person who did not push you? Who you know in yourself that you're grand. You know that you're amazing. But then you get with this person who doesn't even push you to be a better version of that, even a better version of amazing, whatever that is. You understand what I'm saying? And that happens. And I'm glad that Hippolyta got to relay that message to George. And he said there, no, you're right. I helped you shrink. I molded you for me. And I'm sorry. And what did it cost you? And she said, I'm Hippolyta, the discoverer. And she ended up, this little girl keeps walking by me. First that's the reason why I keep stopping. First she drove her skateboard by me and she acted like she was taking a picture. Then she must be walking with these ladies. Then she was walking again and she was holding her camera. I don't know if she's trying to get a picture of me or what. I don't know. She looks like she's a teenager or something. I don't know. Anyways, so she goes into outer space. Her and George, they're in outer space. They're in this comic strip that her daughter wrote. They're in an image, a set of this comic strip. I can't remember the superhero's name that the daughter drew a picture of, but she gives her parents, or she gave both of them comics before they leave. You guys know what's going on. So she drew this comic, and so now when Hippolyta goes through her next realm, she's now in this comic strip, right? And so they're in space, they're hopping through space and stuff, and then you hear this Sun Ra spoken word. Here, let me see. I posted it last night. I posted some of it, some of what the audio, because I was like, what is these words, what? So I had to look them up, because I was like, because every episode they play a recording, an old recording of someone, James Baldwin, and other folks. Hold on, I want to read it because it was from last night. I'm just looking for it on my timeline, honey. Timeline. How do you know I'm real? I'm not real. I'm just like you. You don't exist in this society. If you did, your people wouldn't be seeking equal rights. I come to you as a myth because that's what black people are. I come from a dream that a black man dreamed long ago. I don't come to you as reality. I come to you as a myth because that's what black people are. Myths. Yeah, so that's what they were listening to. And then all of a sudden Garnet comes back, and she has this beautiful flowing gown on, and she was like, I got curious, I'm sorry. She got to be like, I love every space she got to be. She got to be, living the life, out there drinking, having a good time. With Josephine Baker, you got to be a warrior, head of a woman's army, and killing patriarchy and any other form of oppression those men represented. And then you get to talk to the person, your husband, and then you go into the realm of where your daughter created for you. And then you make a decision to go back to your daughter to say, well, my daughter, Dee needs me, Diana. And she was like, home seems like the wrong word. Honey, I don't know if I would have went back. But when the portal opened, baby, she did not come back. Atticus flew through the portal. She didn't come back. The cop is still laying there with blood coming from him. Now, remember what time we are, honey. Here's a black man with a dead cop. Girl, this is not a good look. Then he starts running, and you can see the cop on the ground, and then you can see the little comic next to the cop. You can see the comic next to the cop that the daughter wrote. So the next episode, they're going to track the daughter down because the comic is right there. And they're going to ask her, does she know anything about magic? So we're going to see what's going to happen next week. I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I was here for it. You guys let me know what you think about it. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. I loved the episode. Like I said, I watched it again last night so that I can share with y'all. Let me know what you think. Let me know what the symbols that you were able to identify in the episode. Maybe something that I missed, what you thought something symbolized to you, because it's all our interpretation, right? Because to me, that army of men represented oppression and like killing everything. I was here for it. Anyways, take care of each other, protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.